Hello everybody, so let's continue our Git series. In the last video we covered everything in theory. Today we will see everything in action. Starting from the very beginning, you don't need to have any kind of programming background. I will keep it simple. I will use .txt files so that anybody from any background can follow this tutorial. So by txt file I mean text files. So currently this folder is empty. I will create some files and folders here so that we can then run git commands later on. So first I'm creating here file.txt. This is my first text file. I will add some content here. Save it. I will add an empty folder here by the name images. Currently it's empty. We are not adding anything in this folder. I will create another folder by the name videos, and we are not keeping it empty. Here I am adding a file by the name, let's say, video1.txt, and I will write here, this is my first video. Glitch channel, glitch garden channel is awesome. I will save it, and I will create one more file here by the name .env. So if you are familiar, .env files are those files. .env files are those files where we store our secret keys, like any API key, or let's say you're working on Azure, then your Azure OpenAI keys. So every secret key is stored in this file separately. So let's say I create a dummy variable here by the name API key, and I store a value here. So this is how currently my folder looks, and if I just go back here, so you can see here currently there is one file, images, videos folder, and one .env file. Now I come back to here, and you see the color here also. Now what we will do, that we will type our first command, and that is git config -- global user dot name, and within double quotes we will type the name. Now you must be thinking that what am I doing here? See, whenever you're working with Git, then you know that it's a version control system. Whatever changes you will do in your repository, everything will be tracked by Git. But Git also keeps a track of who made those changes, right? So you need to set your username and user email ID so that Git knows who is committing those changes or who is making those changes. So whenever you set your user.name or user.email that we will be setting up next, then what will happen, that any commit that you will create, along with that author name will also come along with his or her email ID. So we will see this in some time. First, what I am doing, that git configuration -- global user.name, and then within double quotes you need to type your name and hit enter. Now your username is set. Similarly, you need to set your email ID, git config -- global user.email. It's exactly the same, it's just that in the first line it was user.name, now it's user.email, and you need to type your email ID here. I'm not typing it entirely, gmail.com, and hit enter. So you see your username and user email ID is set. Now what you will do, that you will type one more command here by the name git init. Now what this git init is doing, it's initializing Git. It's telling Git that you need to start yourself. If I hit enter, you will see that initialized empty Git repository. So what happened here, if you go back to your folder, you will see here that an empty .git file is created. Though there are folders and subfolders here, there are files as well, but mostly they are empty. If you click on the configuration file and you open it with VS Code, you will see here that mostly it contains your configurations and most of the things are not set. And similarly there are hooks. So some folder has come up, right? When you initialized Git, something has come up, and this is the main folder. If you delete this folder, all your history, all your commits, all the latest version except the latest version, everything will be deleted. So this folder is very empty. It is possible that you might not be able to see it. What you need to do is click on view, under show you need to select this. Mine is already selected. If I just click it again, then you will see that Git folder is gone. Now again, if I go on view, show, click on hidden items, now I see. So it's a hidden folder which is completely managed by Git. You don't have any role to play here, but whatever commits you do, whatever history you are maintaining, whatever your older versions are, everything will be stored in this single folder. Okay, so this initialized Git. Now there is one more command by the name git status. What this command does, that it tells you that what your current situation is. What your current situation is. By that I mean that what's the current scenario. Is there anything that you have committed? Is there any file in the staging area? It tells you everything. So since we have just initialized Git, what it is telling that we are on the branch master. In the previous video I told you everything about what master branch is and what untracked and tracked files are. So we are on the master branch, no commits have been made yet, and there are untracked files. So you can see something strange here. If you see here, I added two folders, one file, actually two files, but you see only one folder came here, and the reason is that Git tracks empty files but not empty folders. So you see here, this folder was not empty, there was something here. That is why there was one file here, that is why this folder was not empty, and it is being tracked by Git. Not currently tracked, but at least Git is considering it. But images, since this folder was completely empty, Git ignored it. So let's say you want to keep the folder empty, but you also want Git to consider this. So what you need to do is, within your empty folder, you need to create a file by the name .gitkeep, and you don't need to enter anything here. Now if you see, the color has changed, and if I just go back here and type git status, you will see now my images folder is coming. Now these are all the untracked files, right? These are all the untracked files. Now one thing that I want to make clear here, that .env files is your secret file. You don't share it with anybody, you don't upload it on GitHub. It's specific to you and you shouldn't be sharing it with anyone. So you don't want Git to track it, right? Why would you want your .env files to be tracked by some Git, or maybe if you made certain changes, then other people will be able to see it, right? So you don't want it to be tracked by Git. For that, what you need to do, that you need to create one more file by the name .gitignore. The name has to be exactly the same. If I hit enter, then what I need to do, that I need to type the name of the file that I don't want Git to track. So here I will type .env and I will save this file. So you see the color has again changed. So now what will happen, that if I type here git status, what will happen, that .env file has gone, but .gitignore is being tracked. So only file name will be tracked. This will tell Git that you need to ignore this file, and this you don't need to consider it, you don't need to track it, you need to completely ignore it. Just like it was ignoring the empty folder, same way it will ignore this .env file as well. So these were the two commands, not commands, actually it's just a Git way of telling something. So it's just a way to tell Git something. For example, .git keep is telling Git that this folder, though it's empty, you need to consider it. Then you have .git ignore, which is telling Git that whatever names are written within this .git ignore file, you need to not consider those files. So these were the things, and till now we have covered few commands. I hope everything is clear up till this point. Now what I need to do, that let's say I want to track my files. So as I told you in the previous video, that before making your files to be tracked by Git, you need to add those files in the staging area. To do that, you need to write git add. Now there are two options here. Either you add the file name here directly that you want to specifically track. Let's say I want to ignore git ignore images folder, videos folder, and I just want to track file.txt. So this is how I will add file.txt in the staging area, but currently I want all my files to be tracked, so that is why I am adding all the files in the staging area. To do that, since adding files one by one in the staging area will be a little cumbersome, so what we will do, that we will add git add and just one dot. This will tell Git that Git needs to add all the files in the staging area. I will hit enter, and now all the files are in the staging area. If I type git status here, so you see something has changed here. Changes to be committed. These are the changes that I need to commit it. These changes have not been committed yet. Now what I will do to commit changes, now since everything is in the staging area and we just directly commit whatever is in the staging area, so I will type git commit -m. -m is nothing but telling it that whatever next I will be typing within double quotes, that will be the message attached with that commit. It's like the commit that I made, it's like a title for that. So I will, within double quotes, I will write first commit. Now one thing that I want to tell you about commit messages, that these are always written in imperative language. You don't write something like added first commit. It's always written in a language that feels like giving command or order, like add first commit. So that is how it's done. I will hit enter, and now my first commit is done. How will I check that? I will write git log. This will tell me all the logs. So till now, see here the author, my name has come, that we set earlier by git config -- global. So my name has come, my email ID has come, the date has come, and the time has come when I committed the change, and this is the name of my commit. Now if you go here in the VS Code in the source control area, you will see in the graphs section that first commit has been made and I am on the master branch. Now what I will do, that I will close all these files, and in my file.txt file I will add one more line. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and there I did free promotion. Anyway, so now I have added this line. Now you see the colors are different here, right, from rest of the files, because we did a change in this file. Now at this point, if I type git status and I hit enter, you see here that I modified something in file.txt and Git knows it, and this is what Git is telling me, that you did some change in file.txt file. So you see how Git tracks your file. It is able to recognize the change that you did. Now what we will do, that we will add this file in the staging area, because we want to create our second commit. This will be like the version 2 of my application. Version 1 was when I took the first snapshot, or when I created the first commit. That was my first commit, and now this second commit is when I made a change in my file.txt file, and I feel that this is perfectly fine for my version 2 of the application. So I will write git add. I am adding this file in the staging area, and now I will type git commit -m change file.txt. I know these messages are a little weird, but this is how these messages are written. But nobody is stopping you to write commit messages the way you want, but this is convention followed by everybody, that your messages must always be in imperative language. So if you hit enter, now your first commit is also done and second commit is also done. Now if I type git log, you will see now two commits are coming. First one is this one when I made the first commit, and second one is coming here, the second commit, change file.txt, right? If I go back to the source control, you will see that I made the change here. And now an amazing feature here, that you can actually see the changes that you made. If I click here, you will see a button here by the name open change. If you click here, you will see here that this is the first commit that you did, and this is the second commit that you did, and you can see that the VS Code is able to recognize, or your Git, it gives you a user interface kind of thing that tells you that what changes you made in your files. So you see, I added one line and it's telling me this is the line that you added in your second commit. So this was it for Git. Now what we will do, that we will connect to GitHub and we will see how we can push and pull code there. You will see everything in action, and this is enough for you to begin your journey in Git and GitHub. If you want a detailed video, do tell me in the comment section. I will try to cover more advanced Git commands. But for now, let's log into our GitHub accounts. If you haven't created one, I have logged in my GitHub account. If you are new to GitHub, all you need to do is go to your web browser and search for GitHub. The first link that you will find, click on it, and there, this is how the GitHub is. If you are first time user, you need to click on sign up, and you need to fill all your details, your email ID, the password that you want to set, your username, your location, and then you need to click on create account. Your account will be created. Once that is done, you need to click on sign in and provide your email ID or username and the password that you set, and click on sign in. Once you are signed in, this is how your page will look. This is a fresh account, so currently I have no repository here. What we will do, that you see here a plus button is there. Click on the drop down and there you will see a new repository. Click on it, and let's say we create a new repository here by the name, understanding Git GitHub. It's already taken. Okay, I was experimenting it, so it's already taken. Let's say understand Git and GitHub. So this name is available. What I will do, that I will keep it private for now, but you can keep it public as well. Now I will click on create repository and my repository will be created. So you see, you have created your first repository in GitHub. Now this is exactly the same way we created our local repository by the name Git tutorial. Same way on GitHub we have created one repository by the name understand Git GitHub. So it's a folder on a remote server, or where that remote server is nothing but GitHub. So GitHub has your remote repository. Okay, now what we will do, that whatever code we wrote here, or whatever application we created here, the dummy application, and whatever commits we have done, we want to push the final commits here. Okay, all the commits, entire history and everything, we want to push it here. Okay, so what we will do, that here the quick setup is given. You can also follow these steps given here. What I will do, that I will copy it. I think it's copied. Now I will go back to Git and I will type here So if you are wondering that what's this command is, so I accidentally deleted my file, so I switched back to the latest version of app by simply going back. First I obtained all the commits that I did. So this one line gives you everything in one line. Earlier we were getting everything in detail here. So if you want to get everything in one line, this is how you do it. And now what I did, that I wrote git reset dash dash hard and then the commit id that I want to jump to. So I jumped to get commit id this, and when I hit enter I finally got the latest version of my application or my folder which I previously accidentally deleted. So this is what this command is doing. Now what we will do here, we will type git remote add origin and we will paste the link here that we copied from GitHub. Now what this is doing, that this is telling Git that you need to link my local repository Git tutorial with my remote repository which is here and keep its name as origin. You can keep it whatever way you wanted. Instead of origin you can use a different name as well, but this is the name that is generally used. So I'm telling it that you need to link my local repository Git tutorial with my remote repository which you can find here on this link and call it origin for future references. Now if I hit enter, the link has been established. Now what we will do next, that we want to push our Git tutorial code to our we want to push local repository code to our remote repository code. Alright, so what command we will write, we will write git push dash u origin and then the name of your master branch. So what this is telling, that git push my code that is present on my master branch, and where git need to push that code, it needs to push that code on origin. Okay, that we specified here. Now what this minus u is doing, that it's establishing a permanent connection between these two. So next time you don't need to write a big command like this. Whenever you do certain change in the git folder, then and you commit it, then if you want to push that to your remote repository, all you need to write is git push. So this minus u will help you in future, so that you don't need to write this long command every time. You don't need to remember what your main branch name was or your remote repository branch name was, right? All you need to do is just write git push. So this minus u will help you establish that. Now if I hit enter, I will see something. So here you will see this sign in page. So currently your VS Code is not connected with GitHub. You need to connect your VS Code where you are running the git commands in terminal to GitHub, so that you can easily push your code there or pull from there. So there are two ways, either you sign in with the code, sign in with the browser, or if you don't want to write your username and email ID or password, then you can use a second option, that is to use token. This is a personal access token. In order to grab that, you need to go to your GitHub account, and here on your profile picture click on settings, and at the very end you will find the developer settings. Click on it, and here personal access token, click on the drop down menu. You will find the first thing, that is fine grained tokens. Click on it, and here click on generate new token. Here you need to type your token name. Let's say I type understand get GitHub token. You can name it anything. Next, what you need to do, that you need to set your you need to set an expiration date. So I'm setting it for 7 days for now because for me that's enough. And what are the repository that it can access? Select at least one. I'm selecting this only because I don't need, or you can keep it same as well. Next, you need to add permissions. If somebody is accessing that token, then what are the permissions that you are granting it? You need to click on add permissions and you need to select here one thing, and that is contents, and there you need to keep it read and write. Okay, so that you can read that repository, you can write that repository, and metadata can be read only, that's fine. Next, you need to click on generate token. Select at least, so okay, so let's keep it public. Anyway, content, okay, I need to type this again. What happened? Or should I click? Okay, I'm sorry, my bad. I need to select a repository here. So this is the repository that I want to select. Now it's cool. Yes, correct. So we have selected our repository here, and now we are adding the permissions that we previously added, and I will click on generate token. It's correct. You need to click on generate token, and this is the generated token that you have got. Copy it, go back to your VS Code and go back to tokens, paste your token here and click on sign in. See, the sign in is done and you have pushed your code on your GitHub profile in the repository understanding Git and GitHub. If you go back to your account, you will see here in the repositories section, you will see all your code has come here. Correct? All your code has come here. And if you see the branches, you will see that currently we are on the master branch, which is quite right? So I hope everything is clear up till now, and we can also pull the code from there. Let's say what I did, that inside my repository I open file.txt file, and let's say now rather than editing it in my local repository, I am directly editing it here on GitHub. Yes, I clicked on the edit button, and now I am adding here. What should I write? Let's say I am saving it. Okay, see what it's doing. It's doing exactly the same, but in a graphical user interface where you are not writing any kind of commands, but you are directly typing and clicking on buttons to make the commit. So now it's saying that what should be your commit message, and it simply says update file.txt. Is it saying that do you want to create a new branch? I have explained you the branching concept in the previous video. I will click on commit directly to the master branch, and I will click on commit changes. See, this is done. Now if I go back to my repository and if I see that a new commit has been created, correct? Now if I go back to my VS Code and I type here git pull, see, I used here -u, so that connection is already established between these two. Now I don't need to write -u origin master, simply git pull will work here, and if I hit enter, you will see that it will pull the latest changes that I did there. And now if I see here, see the first commit, update changes, the commits that I previously did are already there, only one additional commit has been added. And if I go back to my explorer and see how my file.txt file is looking, so hi has come. So that is how Git and GitHub collaborates. I hope things are clear. If you want a detailed video on more commands on Git, if you want more advanced topics to be covered, do tell me in the comment section. I will make one video on that as well. I hope this beginner friendly Git and GitHub tutorial was clear